Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet Earth, this spinning rock we are on. I know you're not sleeping, and I know you've got energy. Welcome to the party. Apparently, the Washington Commanders do not want us to stop doing post-game shows because I don't really have a ton of words for this. Washington is on this magic carpet ride. I don't know when we're getting off. I will say this. This is an opening sentence. This is a true story. I'm going to say this out loud. I do not say this in jest. This is not tongue-in-cheek. This is a 100% true statement. The Washington Commanders are 60 good minutes of football away from playing in a Super Bowl. 60 good minutes away. This ridiculous carpet ride we're on, I don't know when it stops, but we're here for it. Burgundy Gold Postgame Live, presented exclusively by SportsJourney.com, comes to you in the waning hours of Saturday, January 18th, 11:42. As these words leave my face, we are streaming live on X. We are streaming live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We welcome in our audience from SportsJourney.com. We welcome in our audience from the Not Bland Show. Everybody is coming to join this party, and none of us are going to bed anytime soon. The bourbon is back, just so we're aware. The celebratory bourbon is back. Gents, I don't know where to go here, but let's give a little lay of the land. The Washington Commanders, in the most 2024, 2025 way, went up to Detroit, and really it was the David and Goliath matchup that we all figured was a bit out of reach. We knew we were punching up a few weight classes. But currently, as that plane departs from Detroit and comes back to Dulles, 45-31 victory in Detroit, completely stunning the first seed Detroit Lions, heading to their first NFC title game in, I don't have the years in front of me, but I just
33 years, yeah.
I was
in fifth grade.
You know where I was? Not existing. I didn't exist. Like, this is
How the hell with all of you? I was out of college at that point.
Oh wow! I'm sorry.
This is
It's all right.
I don't. Bob, you look. Bob, you're the best looking 28-year-old I've ever seen. So don't worry.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm joined tonight by DJ Bland. You see him up there in the top right corner. Bob Matthews, the man of the hour. These guys have joined me throughout the year. And from Georgia, the man himself, Marietta, Georgia, Mr. Shawn Ouellette on the ones and twos tonight. So just to lay the land, again, we are streaming live. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have queries, if you have concerns, if you want to comment on my hair, if you want to be the 18th person to say I look like Matt Gaetz, do it. I don't care. Throw it in the comments. It's coming up on the screen. We're going to have some fun tonight. This is a party, man. This is a party. And we're going to get into all angles of Washington's utterly ridiculous win in Detroit. What did we witness tonight? Okay, let me give you a quick lay of the land, and then we're going to go around the table. What we witnessed tonight was a continuation of one of the great rookie seasons of all time for Jayden Daniels. We're looking at a player in Jayden Daniels who has put his team on his back in a way that I just can't recall seeing before from somebody at this young age. We saw one of the greatest postseason games in recent NFL history. We watched a duel of two top-tier offensive coordinators, and breaking news, Cliff Kingsbury got the dub. There's just so many things we can get into in this game, but over the course of this week leading up to this Saturday, DJ, you and I were on Lake Lewis's fan podcast.
Yeah.
You wrote 3 keys to victory. Bob, we've been talking over the course of the week. You've been putting things out there as well. Nonstop, we have been talking about the keys to victory. And I think subconsciously, a lot of our keys to victory, a lot of the things that we thought going into this game needed to be done, we were not sure it was possible, right? We talked about, hey, this defense needs to step it up. But I think subconsciously we realized, I don't think this defense is going to step it up. They did. Hey, this defense needs to get turnovers against an electric Lions offense. They haven't done it all year, so they're probably not going to do it again. Well, they did that. Brian Robinson having one of the great games of his career. I said DJ, I looked into the camera with a straight face a few days ago and said De'Ami Brown was going to be one of the key players in this game, and he was. And he was. This game was on drugs in the best way possible. Let's just go around the table and just get our overall takes. DJ.
You know, right from the jump, I wrote in the first drive that Detroit had, I said Washington's defense looked like it had a lot more energy than Detroit's offense. And it seemed like the entire team did. I know everybody talks about the 4th and 1 that got stopped, but really Washington stopped themselves. Got a little too cute on that play. Really didn't need to do that. Just go ahead, run straight up, or simply just fake it and commit to it, and they would have gotten it. So, it's just kind of one of those things that it shows that this coaching staff really did their homework. You can talk about injuries, you can talk about a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, women lie, men lie, tape don't. When you go back and you look at the tape of teams that they have faced with running quarterbacks, they do exactly what we saw here tonight. And if you watch the 3 keys on sportsjourney.com, I told you that.
Yep.
Because I watched the tape, and the tape don't lie. And when you're going against a quarterback of this caliber who is a generational talent, understands his offense, very super smart, cool, calm, and collected. And, all of you jabronis who call yourself reporters trying to tell us about crowd noise, obviously you hadn't been watching the Commanders, and obviously you hadn't been watching Jaden Daniels, because that crap don't matter. And, it's really kind of disrespectful to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who also came out and provided a pretty hard and tough crowd as well.
Electric.
This team has been in tough moments all year. So all of you folks overlooking the whole thing, shame on you. It goes to show you that you were just kind of leading with your heart, and you really weren't paying attention to what our family says, Miss Candy Waller, the clues.
Yeah, love it, man. It's a fact. Bob, you talked about this. I mean, our group chat was blowing up tonight.
Right.
Give me your overall reactions. I mean, you've been covering this team for years. You've seen a lot. What does this mean?
I'd say we're a long way from the end of that season where Les Carpenter and I were standing outside the locker room, and he had that glazed look on his face where he says, I don't even know what questions to ask anymore. So there's that.
I've heard Lake Lewis say that to me.
Oh, yes. Number 2, I will see your bourbon, and I will raise you a glass of and the rest of the 5th of Johnny Walker that I've got here. So,
attaboy. I got the last of the Sazerac rye I had laying around.
Very
attaboy,
nice.
Bringing out the red label on this beautiful night. Well done.
Absolutely. You got to do it. So, you're right. It is kind of hard to put into words. I was just thinking before we came on. So I moved back to Virginia right after the 1991 season. I moved back here in 92 when they were the defending world champions, and it has been downhill ever since. I mean, this is the first time since that 91 season that they're playing in an NFC championship game. I still can't believe I'm saying that. But,
it's unbelievable.
It really is. But I think what we saw tonight was that we were wrong about a few things. Number one, and, I've got a hot take for you. This isn't a magic carpet ride. A magic carpet ride was what happened when they were winning 7 straight. It's what they did with Todd Collins at quarterback when Richard Crawford was returning punts for touchdowns and stuff like that. Those are magic carpet rides. this team has just arrived a lot earlier than anybody thought they would. And it's because of that transformational, generational quarterback in Jaden Daniels. And it's about him being able to elevate the level of play and help some guys that were either brought in this year or the holdovers from the previous regimes finally realize that potential. I mean, I think I said in the group chat, I love De'Ami Brown coming out of college, and I've been so disappointed that he hasn't been able to, to really put it all together until about the last 5 or 6 weeks. And now you wonder, hey, should they re-sign him, in the offseason? It's this team is legit. I mean, they just hung 45 and they could have hung 48 points on the Lions if they had made that field goal. It's unbelievable. And you saw it building, throughout the game. Even that first drive where they messed up on the fourth down conversion, they kept the ball for a long time. We talked about it, time of possession. It helps that the Lions, have just as bad, have a really bad defense. But you could see it throughout the game. That Lions defense kept getting, more desperate and more desperate and more desperate. And, this offense just responded every single solitary drive. And also hats off to Joe Witt and the defense, because they limited that Detroit offense to just 10 points in the second half. They made some pretty good adjustments.
No, I couldn't agree more. Sean, where are we at? Give me your outside view.
I mean, we talk so much in football about the playoffs and who's going to succeed in the playoffs. Isn't so much about how good you were in the regular season or at the beginning of the season, or who you signed in the preseason, or who your new head coach is and all that stuff. It's about when you get hot. And these past 2 weeks against the Bucs and now against the Lions, this is the best that I've seen the Commanders look all season. They're putting it together at the right time. And I just think the play of Jane Daniels, Terry McLaurin with that big breakaway touchdown, if you want to call it, the defense, Brian Robinson Jr., who looked really bad last week, he had a really good week tonight. Austin Eckler had some really just amazing plays getting away from defenders. So there's just a lot of things that are working well for Washington. That lead you to believe they're getting hot at the right time. And there's no better time to get hot than the playoffs. And now you're going into the NFC Championship against either the Rams or the Eagles. You're going to be on the road again. You've won 2 road playoff games, so now you're comfortable on the road.
How do you
I would argue
the
you're playing
Rams
better on the road than you have at FedEx Field all season long. So, or whatever they call it now. I guess it's not FedEx Field, Northwest Stadium. But yeah.
Northwest Stadium.
It's the perfect time for Washington. They're just getting hot when they need to, and they're going into the NFC Championship. I was texting my uncle. He was telling me crazy game. I think he texted me at halftime, and I said, once we knew Washington was going to win it, really in that last minute, once we could all take a sigh of relief, I texted him. I said, I never thought, regardless of the name, that a Washington team was going to be in the NFC Championship, and he said he didn't either. So I think a lot of fans feel the same way. So it's great to see them with the chance to go to the Super Bowl, which is just crazy to say.
It's insane.
Yep. Shout out to Tina French, Scott Purley showing up in the chat. How you guys doing? Good evening. I know you guys are feeling the energy too. Big hi to Scott and Tina. Got some more comments streaming in here, so make sure if you guys got a thought.
My man C. Lou is in the building.
There's C. Lewis. There he is. HTTR, HTTC. Let's go, my friend. Raise a glass to you. I said on, and again, it was slightly cringeworthy, I guess you could say this way. One of my, Lake asked the question on a stream on Friday, and he said, give me your one thing you want to have happen, your one key that you want to have happen. And I said something that I thought was cringeworthy, but I think I really believed, and I think is exactly why Washington walked away with a win today. And I said, Washington needs to punch them in the mouth. They need to go to Detroit, They need to hit them in the face, and they need to throw them off. I said that if you got to the end of that first quarter and it was tied 0-0, it was tied 7-3, it was 7-3, some weird score, and you got that crowd out of it, you saw how flustered Jared Goff looked, how flustered Dan Campbell looked. That defense was completely out of sorts. They were completely off kilter from the start. Washington came out swinging. Their defense came out hitting hard. Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Chin and Marshawn Lattimore lowering the boom. Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler and John Allen. Mikey Sanderson, pair of picks. I mean, everyone on that field had a moment tonight that you would have a film session on Monday and have a round of applause and go, you guys came out to play. When you step up an opponent to the degree of the Detroit Lions, you have to play with intensity. But again, and I'll say this for the 100th time, the most dangerous thing a team can be in the playoffs is be a team that has nothing to lose. Washington had nothing to lose, and they were swinging with every pound of weight behind them, and every punch was rattling them. I mean, Frankie Louvu hitting Jared Goff. By the way, not a penalty. Totally.
That was a
Jared
legal
Goff
hit.
Completely, absolutely. Everyone on Twitter that was saying it wasn't is just simply incorrect. So I understand that you have that opinion. Just understand that you're going to bed tonight with an incorrect opinion. Totally okay. You watched, you saw how rattled they were. You saw how much they just couldn't get their feet under them. This is an intensity, a culture that Dan Quinn, Coach of the Year, should single-handedly take a bow for. Absolutely take a bow for. So let's go around the room here, and let's go the thing you liked the most. DJ, the thing you liked the most tonight.
It showed that this team was prepared right from the jump.
Yeah.
They came out with energy, with a play that was ready to make a statement. I like the way Coach Kingsbury just drew it up, man. Attack the weaknesses, like I said on the 3 keys. Attack the weaknesses of this football team. And they did what they've been doing on offense. This coaching staff has been incredible. It really shows what having quality individuals in the building can do for a football team, because let's not overlook the fact that at the end of the day, this team still has talent deficiencies, and they're going out and they're beating teams, and they're slugging it out with teams with guys who aren't the caliber of some of these guys on other rosters. That's coaching, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
That's what coaching does. And this coaching staff deserves a game ball for having them prepared in this type of environment, in this type of moment. It's very easy to come into big moments and piss down your leg. I mean, Ben Johnson did it with that dumb reverse pass, pissed right down his leg. But they didn't.
Yep.
They came in and were prepared. That's what I liked about this football game, is the preparedness. And that's chalked up to great coaching.
Great coaching, great culture, something we just haven't had in this city
since Jack Kent
since
Cook.
Joe. Yeah, since Joe, since Jack Kent Cook. And when Joe came back, Joe 2.0, he obviously didn't have all the tools he needed and all the tools he wanted and all the tools he deserved to have. And you're seeing all these ingredients come together so much faster than we thought. And this really does speak to, what Patrick Mahomes has done for years, what Josh Allen has done for years, what Lamar Jackson has done for years. Make everyone around him better. It's not like you need to go out and go get 7, 8 all pros, 2 on that offensive line, an all pro receiver, a couple. You need a guy who can elevate his team. That's what Jaden's done. That's genuinely where, when I look at this season and where we're going even next week, how can you confidently say that Washington's an underdog anymore? I mean, honestly, when you start seeing that AFC side of the bracket, okay, how do you go up to the Eagles and the Rams, whoever they're going to play next, and say, yeah, Washington's a solid underdog? How can you really do that anymore at this point?
They're going to be,
Bob.
though.
They will be. They will be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
Bob,
will be.
go
I
ahead.
mean, the thing the Eagles have, that the Lions didn't have, is they've seen Jaden Daniels twice now. So there's
Yep.
that. If it gets to
Absolutely.
that. But the thing that I was thinking about, and I'll show my age here, but still, with age comes wisdom sometimes.
Always, Bob.
This
You're the wisest person I know.
Oh, I'm the wisest one in this group if we're going by age, but that's the only way. But nevertheless, this team is starting to give me a real 1982 vibe. Like DJ said, we're talking about talent deficiencies and how the roster is incomplete. And I think we all still think it is, but maybe this is kind of a redo of 1982 when Bobby Beathard put together a team of, free agents and undrafted guys and guys that he traded for. And it just somehow all worked, and it started this huge run. That may be, what we're looking at here, because nobody expected that team in 82 to go out and do what it did.
Yep.
And I love the poise, the offense played with. And I agree with DJ about, what everybody was saying about Detroit and the noise and what I said in the, in the text group to all of you guys. And I know that you all agreed with me. I'm like, hey, Jaden Daniels played in Death Valley, Louisiana for 2 years. So 70,000 screaming fans is, that's a road trip to Kentucky or Vanderbilt, or Ole Miss. So that wasn't going to phase him at all. And it was just, DJ was right. They were able to exploit the weaknesses. Jaden Daniels just doesn't make mistakes, man. I mean, he's that transformational guy. I'm not even worried about, the specter for me of 2012 is even gone, because, when you watch him, even when you watch him run on either design runs or
nothing
scrambles,
like we've ever seen.
He knows how to do it smart. He knows how to do. He knows how to do it. He knows how to get down before getting hit, and it's just he's playing the game. The game for him, everything he sees moves so much slower than it does for everybody else, and that's what great quarterbacks do. That's what Mahomes does. That's what Josh Allen does, and Lamar and Joe Burrow and those guys. And boy, I tell you what, I don't. Neither the Eagles nor the Rams want to play this team next week. They really don't.
No doubt. No doubt, the Rams and Eagles don't want to see this team. Shawn, can you go ahead and give us your take on this? Oh no. Sean's mic is doing this thing, unfortunately, this evening where he sounds like he's either conjuring a demon or he's summoning one of those drones up in New Jersey with some sort of extraterrestrial life. I'll see if I can get Shawnee on the chat here and see if I can fix this up. I'll go with the thing I love the most in this game was the physicality. I mean, the physicality and the speed that this game was being played with was something. I mean, I haven't seen all year. This was hands down the fastest, the most violent, the most Dan Quinn-esque, game I think defensively I've seen in a while. And it's funny that I say that knowing that this defense struggled actually pretty immensely between the 20s throughout this game. But it is the intangible things that matter. It's the things that you can't necessarily measure that make up the difference in these really, really high pressure games. Because let's be perfectly clear here. The Lions were the team that needed this way more than Washington did. This is their first rodeo here with the first round bye. They get the 7th seed at home. You're one game away from then hosting a title game. And they were the ones with the pressure on them. And Washington came in and just punched them. It was just punching the bully in the face. It's the bully on the playground that is constantly making fun of everyone else and has never had somebody stand up there and take a swing at him. Washington did and knocked them off balance. And to me, I think statistically, a ton that you want to fix going forward, and a ton of reasons to be concerned. The physicality was Joe Witt and Dan Quinn personified, and it's the difference. It felt like the difference. Again, for the sake of consistency, we have done this every week. We start out with the things we like, the things we don't like. Again, one of our comments here, all the changes have been a blessing. Every one of them. Every one of them. And
Absolutely.
the thing about them is we've been year after year watching free agents come in and leave. We've watched, defensive tackles, 1 year contract stars come in off the bench of free agency and do nothing and then leave again. And again, what did I tell you today? The names we used today: Mikey Sanders, still a rookie; Marshawn Lattimore, midseason trade; Dorrance Armstrong, a free agency addition; Dante Fowler, free agency addition; Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, free agency additions; home run hit after home run hit. I mean, this is just front office, 5-star, perfectly cooked steak, bourbon neat that you just love, and it goes down so easy.
So
It's
before we get into the things we don't like, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some stuff at you here, and I know everybody's looking at the runs that Jahmyr Gibbs got, some of the runs that the wide receivers had, but I mean, I said that also in the keys. This is something that they like to do, and let's not forget, this is the number 1 ranked offense in the league, and Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery are crazy good. Like, these are 2 of the best backs in the NFL, and lightning fast. And something that I saw in the first half, and that was part of my notes, is that guys were trying to play hero ball. They were getting into the backfield and they were trying to make the hero play, blow up play. Well, when you do that with a back that quick, and even with wide receivers that quick, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all of those guys, they will blow right by you. And all they had to do was just do your job, maintain gap responsibility, stay where you're supposed to be at, and let the guys come in and help and slow this guy down. And when you blow past the guy, you open up these lanes. And that's pretty much what was happening in the first half.
Yeah.
But when they had to have it, Jarrett couldn't get the job done. And that's a testament to the back half of the defense and how well the front played in getting after him. And the key to this game was, once you get up 10, and the clock was against them. So once you get up the points they got up, now they got to go play hero ball. And it's no more running game anymore. They took that away from them because of the score. And now they're playing your game. So it's kind of like when you had Kobe, you had Shaq, you had all those guys, Robert Ory, Fisher, Derek Fisher. You knew 2 of these guys are going to eat.
Yep.
I'm going to take the rest of them away. So those guys ate. Good. But their stomachs are full. But the rest of them jokers going home hungry because they took an L.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about it. Bob, you got anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I really think DJ kind of summed it up. And it's because we're all just, I don't want to say in shock, but just kind of drained from this whole thing. I mean, it was just a complete team effort. I loved seeing Mikey Sanders still step up,
with
the 2
week after week.
That one at the end of the half just showed some really good closing speed there. Yep. Yeah, I'll tell you what. So there's 2 things I'm looking at. Number one, I've got going back and forth between NFL Network and ESPN off screen, and it's fun to watch this national revelation of Jaden Daniels, kind of, and the entire team, kind of in real time here. And the other thing that I noticed tonight, we were all talking about that phantom face mask penalty. That, and everybody in our chat group, if you follow any of the great beat reporters on Twitter, we thought that could be an inflection point in this game, and we were like, and in years past it would have been, but I think that's a really telling thing that, and again, I hate to put it all on Jaden Daniels, but it's quarterback driven league, and you just got to say, we'll go ahead and give credit to the entire team. They didn't let that define this game. the Lions scored, and what did the offense do? Came right back down the field, and it got a touchdown, and basically negated it. So just credit to the roster in that they're not gonna let something like that sink an entire game, because in past years it totally would have.
It totally would have. And I go back to, look, man, I'll summarize. This win is for everyone who sat through Jim Zorn's years. Like, this win is for everyone who sat through the years of feeling like, what the heck are we doing? 2013, 2019, 2018, all the times we were told things. And this is what I always try to say to people, like, don't tell me, just show me. I don't want to hear you tell me something, right? I don't want to hear the salesman tell me, hey, I'm the best salesman. No, just give me numbers. I don't want to hear your talk. And for years and years and years, we've been fed talk, and we've never seen it. And this is the first year that role is flipped, where really we've been fed results, just endless results and little talk. Jaden doesn't do any talking. He just does it. Yep. And we just don't get this. This is not only rare in this city, this is rare in the sport. And it's why I think Jaden Daniels has elevated himself as one of the premier quarterbacks in football. I think he's going to be, I have a hard time not seeing him in any top 5 list for the remainder of time. I mean, genuinely, this is the caliber of guy we're talking about. Jim Zorn, man, I almost forgot about him. Yeah, I hate to bring this back up, but these are the years, the Albert Hainsworth years. These are the John Beck and Rex Grossman, and this is the Bruce Allen is going to come and fix everything. So Donovan McNabb, and then, hey, Albert Hainsworth's going to do the worm on the field.
Letting off the field, the culture is
all
damn
of it,
good.
The sewer, Jalen Hurts almost dying at FedEx Field. All of the things that, that we constantly have gone through, have felt. This is for that. This is what it's about. And if my voice is getting hoarse, it's because of the screaming. It's because of the what is going on. And there just came a point where I looked at my wife and just said, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not quite sure how to break this down. But this is where we are, and we just got to enjoy the hell out of it, because again, it is Sunday, January 19th, and we're still talking ball. We just don't get this. So enjoy the hell out of this wherever you are. Keep those comments incoming. And again, we're so appreciative, however and wherever you're listening, as we hit 12:13 a.m. I got a couple hundred people here listening, and this right here shows that people aren't sleeping, DJ. I think people are up for the long haul tonight. Shawnee, I'm going to give another shot at your mic here. We're going to see if this works. Give us your favorite thing that happened tonight.
All right, does it sound better? First of all,
there he is.
There he is.
No, I was just
you did. You sorry. Before you sounded like the 2014 Redskins. You're sounding 2025 right now.
I'm doing a little bit better now.
There you go.
No, I mean, the big moment for me was Dorrance Armstrong's strip sack, because that's the difference between a 7-3 game and a 14-3 game.
Yep.
And I just think that was the turning point. So for me, that was like the big moment where kind of Washington put a stop to the Lions just marching down the field, which they did on the previous drive. So that was the moment for me where I really felt confident that Washington could actually make a difference in this game. I didn't think they would put up 45 to the Lions 31, but when you see them kind of fight back against what seemed to be just a touchdown drive from the start, and be able to get that strip sack and start moving the ball the other way. And I don't even remember what happened to the Commanders' drive when they went the other way, but it doesn't matter, because you were able to keep the game from getting out of hand really early. So that was the turning point for me. And I think that's one of the big moments that I'm going to remember from this game.
And you called it out on Twitter. I believe I tweeted at one point. I can't remember exactly if I have it in front of me or not. Let me see if I can pull this up.
So you tweeted out, you said that to win tonight, the Commanders are going to have to put up 30-plus points. And at halftime, I tweeted at you 30-plus points with a little check mark emoji.
Yeah.
So, all right,
yeah, we covered
that one. Let's go on to the next must-do.
We covered that rapidly. I mean,
that was no concern.
This is the crazy part. So again, by the numbers, let's just take a look at what tonight looked like. Jaden Daniels finished 22 of 31, 299, a pair of touchdowns. Also added 51 yards on 16 carries. If that dude is not one of your top fantasy quarterbacks for next year, you just don't do fantasy anymore. Brian Robinson, Average
Connor, can I ask
5.1,
real
2
quick?
touches. Please do, Shawnee.
Is MVP voting, or however they do that now, is that over as of the regular season, or is it continue into the postseason?
I have to turn this over to the panel here. I'm actually not 100% positive. Bob, do we have an answer on that? Do you know?
I think it ended in the regular season,
Okay.
but that's just a guess on my part.
Because if that's the case, if we're including the postseason, De'Ami Brown's getting a vote, right?
Yeah.
You know me, I love getting in and over my skis about De'Ami Brown. Brian Robinson, again, a guy that we talked about, really aired a lot of frustration about Brian Robinson's contributions on the ground. Really struggling, really struggling to find his grip. A lot of 5 carries for 10 yards, 6 carries for 18 yards. Just not producing in any capacity, not actually really giving this offense anything. And of course, tonight he saves his 5.1 average, 77 yards, a pair of touchdowns on 15 carries. Austin Eckler averaged 7.8 on the ground, 6 rushes for 47 yards. Jeremy McNichols, he ran really hard, had that goal line touchdown, had a couple of 3rd and shorts that he just converted by just keeping his legs moving. And then just as you go down again, everyone was contributing tonight. John Bates, 20-yard catch. Jamison Crowder, 2 catches for 25 yards. Zach Ertz, 5 receptions, had the touchdown. Couple big 3rd down conversions for Ertz, climbing up the ladder and getting a couple of those in clutch time, 28 yards for him. Austin Eckler through the air, 41 yards. Terry McLaurin, I just am so happy for Terry McLaurin, just how much he's put in, how much he's dedicated to the city, to this fan base, to the team. And it's finally is paying it all off for him. Had a touchdown, broke just a bubble screen on a madness bubble screen to the house. Terry McLaurin, just a stud. And then De'Ami Brown leading the house, baby. 6 receptions, 98 yards. Again, making a catch with a guy's hands draped over his eyes. Impactful. Culture win. This is an elite quarterback. This is an elite coaching staff. This team is built from top to bottom to do in 1 year what 30 years worth of previous iterations couldn't do. There's just nothing more to say. Joshua Garber, gentlemen, they did it. Air high five to you. Raising the bourbon to you as well. Joshua added, everyone showed up tonight.
Absolutely.
Everyone showed up tonight. And in crunch time, again, Sam Cosmi goes down. A massive loss. And this is with Chris Paul out at guard. So now you're starting to move tackles and guards all over the place. Dudes stepped up. And there's not enough good things to say about this team, about this entire organization and what they've done. Watch 17 touchdowns about five times now. 17th touchdown, rather. Still giggling like a schoolgirl. We've been giggling like a schoolgirl on air. So best know that when these mics are off, we will still be doing that. DJ, let's go around and do the less pleasant thing. Maybe the thing we didn't like. And maybe we can make the positive spin on the thing we want to see next week. Because, again, I think I want you guys tuning into DJ's 3 Keys. I want you tuning into Bob's articles. Because I'm not going to lie to you, the Sports Journey crew, I think, nailed all of these keys this week to a T. So give me some things that you wanted fixed in this game going into next week if we got a shot.
Channel that energy and be a little bit more sound in technique. Technique is everything. There could have been several home runs by Gibbs tonight. Some great tackling on the back end to help out. But I'd like to see a little bit more, technique, better technique on the front line, not trying to play hero ball. And I need you to finish tackles. There's too many times they had Montgomery down in the backfield. They had Gibbs stopped in the backfield, and he just joysticks out. And next thing you know, he's 15 yards down the field. Some receivers broke out of tackles. Got to finish those tackles. It's more than the big hit. It also includes that technique and follow through. Those things are important and very key, especially when you talk about playoff football. A one poor technique, even though you put a solid hit on a guy and he breaks out of that thing and goes for a touchdown, could cost you the football game. So those are things I didn't like and what I'd like to see better for the championship game.
Did it not feel like to me? It genuinely felt like if they decided to just give the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs the entire game, they were going to win. Like, it almost felt like Jahmyr Gibbs, if you went to the lab and said, I want to design a player that is a nightmare for Washington's defense, Jahmyr Gibbs is coming right out of there. And to me, it felt like Ben Johnson was shook tonight. That entire offensive structure that they were trying, they were just getting too cute and they were doing too much, and it felt like they were flustered. So to me, it just felt like the Jahmyr Gibbs thing was, every time David Montgomery got the ball, even though he had a decent game, I almost just breathed a sigh of relief. I was like, God, thank God it's not Jahmyr Gibbs who's about to kill us. So yeah, a great call out there on Jahmyr Gibbs. Bob, what you got?
So let's see. The things I didn't like, it is the run defense. It's going to have to be better, and you can't take the excuse, well, it was the Lions, it was Sonic and Knuckles and all that, because you got Saquon Barkley next week. More than likely that you're going to have to stop.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? I hope that it is the Rams, because then you're going to have the same sort of dynamic that you have this week. Again, Philly's seen has seen Jaden Daniels twice. The Rams still haven't seen it. So, it's one thing to watch tape. It's another thing to play against the guy. So I hope you're right, DJ. But regardless, the front four have got to be better at tackling, got to maintain gap integrity. I understand that, they were trying to make some splash plays early on. But DJ's right. Just do your job. Do not play hero ball. Because it's you don't have to. I know the beginning of the year, the whole vibe was field position and chew the clock up and lean on the running game and don't make the kid do too much. This offense, it does not matter where it starts on the field. It doesn't matter if it gets down a score. It's going to come back. The offense is going to get theirs. So on the defensive side, just, do what you're supposed to do. Do your job, as Bill Belichick said, and everything will work out just fine, I really believe.
Yep, no doubt about it. Shawnee, going into next week, what did you see you want to see fixed?
Yeah, I would just say score on the first drive of the second half. I mean, they had a really good chance to go 17, and they couldn't do that. So I would make sure that you take advantage of those opportunities, and you can make the same argument in the first half when the game began. The kickoff was terrible. It went out of bounds. It starts at the 40 for the Lions. They go 3 and out. They get -1 yard, and Washington does what happened on our first drive? Did we go 3 and out?
That was what they got. No. That was the stop on down. That was the fourth down.
You're right. It was a stop on down. But that's the point I'm trying to make, is that they didn't take advantage of that opportunity of stopping the Detroit Lions, of the great offensive team. They didn't take advantage of that. So I want to see them kind of capitalize on opportunities like that. That no doubt. Be the thing going forward to next week.
Yeah, no doubt. Joshua Garber, stopping the run is key for LA or Philly. Both have insane run games. Absolutely a fact. Absolutely a fact. The good news is with Philly, we've seen Washington be able to stop the run game, at least in the second half of that second game against Philly. LA might be a little bit of a different story. Heading over to Facebook, see, we had a couple comments on Facebook. This is from Mama Bear, Muriel Forrest. She says, what a win, boys. Still remember the glory days. So great to see Joe Gibbs there tonight. Go Rams. Yeah. Absolutely go Rams. Let's see. Anytime the Eagles lose, my life is better. It is great to hear from Mama Bear there. It was great to see Joe Gibbs in the house. God, somebody who deserves some smiles, some happiness with the burgundy and gold. He has seen it. He has single-handedly brought it. Joe Gibbs being in the house was fantastic tonight. Jersey Jet, wow, that was impressive. Good luck next week and beyond. Absolutely good luck next week and beyond. For me, I think going forward, what would I like to see better? obviously between the 20s, this defense just at times looks like Swiss cheese. And it's like, it almost looks effortless. And it's just concerning to me that the difference in tonight's game, really, when you melt it all down, were those turnovers. And you got to give a ton of credit to the front seven, the secondary, and at different points, guys causing Jared Goff the timing to be off and that offense to just look flustered. But in between the 20s, the Lions were moving the ball all night long. It's the strip sack and the 2 picks that were just crippling for that team and really just ended them. So to me, between the 20s, I know Joe Witt just doesn't, he just needs an offseason. But some adjustments there would definitely help, especially, again, as you continue going up the ladder, the stakes get a little higher. These teams get a little more desperate. The Rams and Eagles are certainly going to bring it. Boys, it's hard for me to believe, even just saying this, that we've got a title game that we're playing for next week. It's just it's absurd. Here's my final question.
Back and see who's playing against us too.
Think about that. We got the Saturday night game. We get the Saturday. So tomorrow, while we're all getting snowed in up here in the north, and you guys are probably hanging out in the rain in the south, our feet are on the couches. Oh, baby, let me tell you. Oh, that's right. It is coming to you there, DJ.
Snow's coming.
Yeah, Mother Nature's been out for DJ this year. Hurricanes and snow, they're just looking for your number, DJ. What's going on, baby?
It's crazy.
But I'm gonna go around the table because we've mentioned this subtly as our parting question for the night. Because to see as many people that are still streaming us live right now at this hour of the night means that this means something to the city, to this fan base, to these people. And, reading my mom's comment, it's emotional for me, for us. Like this team was this is why I decided to do this as a career. It's why I'm on the call with you guys. I fell in love with this team as a young age, and my parents are Irish immigrants, came to this country, didn't know much of anything about football, but settled their roots in the DC area and introduced us to a game they didn't know, and it shaped our whole family. And me and my brothers and my dad and my mom and our cousins over in Ireland and my grandparents, we bonded over this. We still bond over this. And it's this thing that just means so much. And again, to be here at this hour with all these people still joining us, it shows you that it means a lot to a lot of people. And I want to go around the room and say, who are you happiest for in this moment, for this night to come around? DJ, who are you happiest for?
The fan base and the people in your age group, because they have no idea what this is like. Yeah. I'm 43 years old. I had an opportunity to see this a few times. I remember as a kid, I had a Joe Theismann jersey, and I'd run through the house every time Washington scored a touchdown and spike the ball. I had the opportunity to enjoy it. I know what the city was like in those times. Even in the late 90s, when they were still semi-competitive, there was still something there. There was still a buzz. The Cowboys in Washington rivalry was real then. So I'm happy for the people in your age group. This is something. And I can only imagine how it feels to see this for the first time. I know how it feels for me. It's kind of a nostalgia feeling, but this is something. This is really something, and just happy for this fan base who's stuck in there when things looked really grim and no hope, almost like Raider fan no hope. Maybe even worse. It was bad, and I remember. There's a person that's always followed me, and she's always talked about 1 year turnarounds. Why can't that be us? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's you now.
It's you now. It is you now, DJ. Well said. Yep, it's late. This is Joshua Garber. He said it means something. It's been since 1991. Also, I'm still drinking. Oops. Joshua, I'm with you, brother. Let me be clear, though, Joshua. I need to see you in the front row of the pew tomorrow morning, my dude. Bob, who are you happiest for?
You know who I'm happiest for? Tailgate Ted. Shout out to Tailgate Ted.
Yes.
How many
What
years
a guy
of just garbage teams? December comes around, the weather is just awful. It's sleeting, it's cold, it's rainy, and by God, Ted is going out there, his own good hard-earned money to put on huge tailgates, even when the team's lost 8-9, to raise money for charity and all that. One of the guys I'm happiest for is Tailgate Ted. And I'm also like DJ.
It's a great answer.
I'm happy. Thank you. I'm happy for my dad, who kind of also who epitomizes and kind of personifies this fan base, because again, DJ, I can go back even further than DJ. When I was a kid, and my first childhood memories are of the Redskins, and my dad telling me how, because he worked at WMAL with Warner Wolf, how Warner Wolf ruptured his Achilles tendon the week after Sonny did playing touch football. And for people younger than me, you don't realize that, DJ saw the buzz, remembers the buzz of the late 80s, early 90s, and into the late 90s. But even before that, going back to when Jack Pardee coached the team and George Allen and the Over the Hill gang, and even before the Over the Hill gang, it was like a college team in DC. I mean, that was it. You had business deals that fell apart because season tickets weren't transferred with business, with the sales of businesses. You had divorces that were hung up in divorce court over season tickets for years. It's you young guys really can't understand fully how, what this team has meant for this, meant to this city back in those days. And the newspaper clippings and the film has just gotten yellower and older, year by year by year. And so I'm for, like DJ said, for the fan base now, especially who get to experience. Best part is, I think with Jaden Daniels, I'm almost positive, it's going to build year by year by year. So you are going to get to experience it when we can, when we can come on the air and say, well, this week they're going to roll over this team. And this, this week they're going to get it done this week. And it's not just going to be talk. You're going to go to training camp. And if you hear, whether it's Jaden or Terry or whomever say, by God, we're going to win the East this year, it's not going to be just talk. They're going to back it up. And it's going to be, it's really going to be a really fun stretch here for the next decade. And I'm happy for you guys that you get to experience it.
It is awesome. Shawnee, I'm going to give you your who you're happiest for, and then I'm going to clean up some of the comments here because we got some comments streaming in from Facebook, and then obviously we have a couple comments here that we're going to get to. Sean, who are you happiest for?
I am most happy for our wonderful host, Conor Forrest. You and I have been friends for a number of years, and I know that you've had to sit and suffer through me as a New England Patriots fan telling you about how great Super Bowls are and how I can fit all our rings, or I need more than one hand to fit all our rings. So I'm happy that now you're in the position to feel what or at least a little bit what I felt for the past 20 plus years or so. So I'm very happy for you. You're a very loyal fan of Washington football. So I hope you enjoy the NFC Championship, and I really, really hope it doesn't stop right there.
You stud.
And I don't think it will. If you want me to be honest, this team looks really, really good. Well, I mean, just insane, well past I think anybody's expectations. But yeah, I'll give you a good shout out. This is for you.
You stud, you Shawnee boy, making me blush here on a early Sunday morning. No, I mean, it's true because again, the amount of times that Sean would use that I can't do this on one hand with all the rings. It's funny because to me, it really was just, I don't even want 6 rings. I want to just be happy. Like I want to turn on the TV and not have my week ruined. And I think those days might be in the past for us. Let's go ahead and I'm going to give you who I'm the happiest for here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and run through some of these comments. Joshua Garber said he's happiest for Terry and the entire fan base. Terry, I mean, he's the easiest guy to love in the entire fan base. Good call out there, Joshua. He also said, I'm happy for our friend Rio Robinson.
Yeah.
Guy's been trucking along for years. He has been pulling this wagon uphill with the rest of us. So no doubt about it. We're happy for our guy Rio as well. I'm happy for Dan Snyder, perhaps finally seeing the issue was in fact him. We would like to hope so.
Oh, I don't think Dan Snyder's seen that.
No.
I don't think Dan Snyder believes that.
No, I can't imagine.
Hey,
can't imagine. Go ahead, Bob.
No, one other person that I think we all need to be happy for. How about Megan Imbert?
Oh yeah.
How about Megan Imbert?
Absolutely.
She was the one who, the first one to speak up and get the ball rolling.
No doubt.
That eventually and ultimately forced Dan Snyder out. So
no doubt.
Shout out to Megan. Yes.
Raise a glass to all of them. They absolutely got the ball rolling on that one. Fist bump on that all around, Joshua. Fist bumps for everybody around. Let's go over to Facebook. I think I had a couple more comments on Facebook before I get to what I have for you, who I'm happiest for. Mark Forrest asks, does Sam Cosmi come back next week? And he said, also, how do we fix our pass rush based on what we currently have? I cannot see Sam Cosmi coming back next week. They ruled him out pretty quickly. And by standards, when you're ruled out before, a lot of times when guys are dealing with hyperextensions or something that they can probably hit the treatment room on Monday for and kind of test it out on the Wednesday practice field, they're usually just going to say questionable, and that means out, but they're just going to leave it hang. He was ruled out pretty quickly, and I believe he was in crutches on the sideline. So I don't see Sam Cosmi coming back. That's going to be a big blow for this team. So on that offensive line, a lot of guys, again, theme of the season, going to have to step up and start to and produce. I mean, it's been the story of the season, but another one. Aiden Brecken says, I'm so unbelievably happy for Washington. Cheers to you, Aiden. Brother, I am with you. So happy for Washington, a city that can't agree on one thing under the sun, and we can collectively be happy. Mark had asked, how do we fix our pass rush based on what we currently have? My answer to this, and I'm going to give you guys real quick. We'll just try to answer this in 15 seconds each if you can. My answer to this would be doing it more. I think we have enough horses to scheme it up a little bit. I don't think we've got enough top tier talent to really kind of say, well, this guy just needs to step up. I think we got enough speed and athleticism where I think if you just start sending 5 on certain packages, you can start getting home. DJ, what do you got?
Stunts. That's something they don't
stunts,
do.
Totally.
They move guys around a lot, but I would be stunting a lot of guys, especially with you got Dante Fowler, you got John Allen has even shown up, and Deron Payne is pushing the pocket. So stunts would be my thing.
Yep. Bob, what you got?
Stunts and twists. Yeah, just create some more disruption up front. It doesn't have to be, straight ahead, stay in your lane, all that stuff. Do some games up there in front. Try to confuse, the offensive linemen, and send more than they can block occasionally. Take some chances. I think with Marshawn Lattimore, if he's 100% out there now, which it looks like he is, I think that kind of stabilizes things in the secondary. I think they're going to be looking a little bit at Mikey Sanders still next week, whoever we play. So, take a few more chances maybe. Yep.
Totally agreed. You guys seeing the dog making an appearance in the studio? This is the little Chiweenie dog working its way up the back of the seat. Had to make an appearance here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Welcome to the stream here, Lucy. So yeah, I think this is an off-season fix. Shawn, did you have anything to add?
No, I didn't hear this. Sorry, my audio cut out, so I didn't hear what the initial question was.
No, it's all good. We need to just get you back up to the state of Virginia. We have decent Wi-Fi down here in the studio. And maybe I don't. We talked on the phone. Our phone cut out 30 times yesterday. So maybe I should shut my mouth and move on. Who am I happiest for in this one as we wrap up tonight's stream? And again, a massive thank you to everybody for tuning in from all over the place on YouTube. I see a bunch of DJs folks in the audience. people from Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, everyone, for tuning in late night. Who am I happiest for? I'm happiest for my son. I'm happiest for my son who is coming next month, my second boy. I'm happy for them.
Hey, Mazel Tov.
Hey, baby, cheers to that again. I'm running out of bourbon, so we just have to calm down with all the cheers. But let me tell you, I'm happy for my kids that they're going to grow up in a time that I put in the work for them. You know, I put in the work to watch John Beck. I put in the work of getting the Donovan McNabb jersey and then getting in scream fights with my fifth grade friends about how it was going to work out and how we fleeced Andy Reid. I did that for you so that we could get to the point where, God willing, someday here in the near future, we'll be able to sit down and watch football games and have a good time together, and that we can build some good memories, and that he can be proud to be a fan the way that my parents made me proud to be a fan. And that's how fan bases are built. That's how sports unite people. That's how sports bring families together and friends together. It's something we can bond over, and it's something I'm really proud to have had with my family and my parents and my brothers. And I'm excited to do so with my kids. But again, for all of you who've tuned in, for the city of DC, for Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, this one's for you. This one is for you. This again, for the final time for the evening. Cheers. And a big, big thank you. Scott Purley, thank you for tuning in. Great show tonight. Enjoyed the conversation. You guys are awesome. Burgundy and Gold Postgame Live will not die. In this inaugural season, we're going to get another one out to you. So, again, I want to point everybody back to sportsjourney.com. You can follow us all on Twitter. Conor Forrest _ DJ Bland, Bob Matthews, Shawn Ouellette. They are all on Twitter as well. So make sure you're giving those guys a follow. Our YouTube page for After Further Review is kind of getting relaunched a little bit. So if you could, I would appreciate this as a personal favor. Head over there, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications when we go live so we can see you guys on the other side of YouTube as well. DJ, Bob, Shawnee, you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming on again in the late night hours. It is one of my favorite things we do every week. So it's an honor to join you as we march into NFC Championship weekend and the Washington Commanders have another game to play. Whatever the hell this season goes, man, this is just nuts. Final score out of Detroit, 45-31. Washington Commanders get your victory. Soak it up. Enjoy it, my friends. The ride continues. Ride continues, boys.
Cheers.
That is it from us from Burgundy and Gold Postgame Live. We will see you guys on Sports Journey this week. You all have a good night.